Wow, I'll never drink another beer.
Beer here.
I'll take that.
Beer.
Fuck away from me, asshole.
What did you say? What was that?
Oh, I said it with all due respect.
No, that doesn't mean you get to say whatever you want to say to me.
Sure as heck does.
No, it doesn't mean that.
It's in the Geneva Convention. Look it up.
Beer.
All right, welcome to Homebrew Wednesday for August 1st. Going to try to make this quick. This is the second time that I've casted my Homebrew Wednesday on Justin TV and then use that capture to make my YouTube video. Hopefully this goes well. You got to be a little more prepared when you do it this way. Although I do have the ability to edit it later. We're going to start with a really quick video. It's going to be about 30 seconds. It's going to show the way I used to do the video I was shooting to do bottle cleaning, and I'm actually going to just cut to that, and I'm going to show that and talk over it. I took all the sound out of this and I sped it up, and so basically this is just me filling up the bucket, showing how I did it. It's going to show some of the scrubbing I did and some of the stuff I did. I made it harder than it had to be at that point. Now I'm just peeling off labels. Those bottles have been in there a while. And there's me scraping labels off with a plastic scraper, which does a nice job and gets through them. And then the next one is me scrubbing them off with a Teflon scrubby, which sometimes you still have to do, but for the most part, that's not basically the way I do it anymore. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a video that I shot this afternoon that basically shows the way that I'm doing it nowadays. And so I'm going to show that video, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of different things. For the most part, the things that I'm going to talk about are things like, now I'm going to have to edit this out, but I want to talk about the bottles, and I also want to talk about a beer that I was going to bottle today, but I'm not, and I'll talk about that after, but I'll show you a quick picture of it during the thing. But here, let me go ahead and cut to that video, and I'll, for the most part, not talk over this one.
A lot of times you're going to have bottles that are already cleaned, they're already on your bottle rack. But occasionally you're going to have bottles that you pick up somewhere that you need to clean. For instance, I had a 6-pack of this Saugatuck IPA, Singapore IPA from Saugatuck Brewing. Very good beer. Obviously, I'm going to reuse these bottles. Now, these bottles have almost a plastic label on them, and so they're two-steppers. Usually, you got to take this label off and re-soak this bottle. Now, these bottles in here have only really been in here for a few hours, and usually I like them to be in here for a couple of days. Truth is, though, as you have them, you're going to clean them out, and for the most part, you're going to rinse bottles. You're going to get way better at that. Occasionally, you're going to get bottles from some other source. Those can be really nasty inside. You're definitely going to need a bottle brush for those. Or sometime you're going to be out at camp and you're going to have a 6-pack, and then those bottles are going to sit in your trunk for a week, and you're going to want a bottle brush for those as well, for the insides. And let's take a look at one of these. I don't want to shake too much because this water does have it has a 1-step sanitizer in it. I don't use that in my actual brew day or bottling day sanitation anymore. I use Star San, but I still use the 1-step. It's like the OxyClean, the oxidizing sanitizer. I use that in this bucket, and I use this bucket for all of my preliminary stuff, getting all of the stuff off of things, getting the general wash of things, just cleaning them up, not sanitizing them. This is not sanitizing bottles. This is cleaning bottles. And this label, after that first plastic label comes off, it's going to have to sit in here a little longer. But what you need is to do a good inspection. Now, it's tough to do a good inspection until that label's all the way off. But you need something, you either need a light or you need to hold it up to the light to make sure that there's nothing in there. And most of these I've rinsed out really well just as soon as I was done with them, because as a home brewer, you will tend to do that. And then some labels you're going to find just fall right off. You got to make sure that when you're taking these labels off, that you're taking them out of the bucket. And just with a washcloth, my washcloth is old. It's one of the ones we don't use in the kitchen anymore, but it's got a fairly rough surface on it. It'll take a lot of this stuff off. And as you can see there, the stuff on the neck there. I have a scrubby up on my counter there that I could pull out, but I try not to need to do that anymore. Now this one, obviously I just took it off of there, and so you'll see that a lot of this stuff will come off, but if you just pull that label off, I try to do it in 2 steps. You take that label off and then you just leave it. They have to be filled with water as well. They won't submerge otherwise, obviously. And so I try to come out one day and just rip labels off, and then a different day come out and clean them up. And I like to be able to do that way. I can do them as I go. I don't have to do every one. I try not to have to clean 50 bottles to bottle a batch of homebrew, and that's basically why I have the system set up I have. And you'll see that with just my fingernail, I can take most of this off there, and this has only been there, like I said, for a few hours. If I was to wait till tomorrow with this one, it would come off even easier. Now, some of this is getting in my water.
Pretty soon I'm going
this water
to be fast forwarding
for just so long before I do have to change it out, obviously. But just a little bit of elbow grease there. You can get all of that off of there. And basically all I'm going to do today is check for easy peeling labels. I like to do it as lazy as I can. And so labels that are coming out easy, I'll take off today. Certain breweries have use a lot more glue than others. And so those ones definitely require a re-soak if you don't want to use chemicals and such. And I tend not to use the chemicals and stuff. I just rather use a little bit of time. A little bit of time usually does the job. But you'll find that the ones with the really good glue, you have to get the label off first to expose the glue to the water. The chemistry folks will tell you that water is an amazing solvent. And it is, but it has to be able to get there. And so I'm just using my thumb there and getting that off there. Back that one goes. I'm going to finish these up. Probably going to stop the video before this though, or soon after this anyway, because I'm going to fit this into this week's Homebrew Wednesday, and I don't want this to be a 60-minute video. But now that I'm here, if I come off, I do want to get off of here.
Noticed when I was doing this, I have a hell of a lot of commercial beer I bought. Well, I guess they're craft beers, but that label there I'll talk about in a bit. In a minute I'm going to show you the beer that's in the fridge, and I'll talk about that after we stop this video.
Here's a brew that I was talking about, sitting here. I'm really hoping that tomorrow I can bottle this baby.
Okay, and so that's basically the way I get labels off and get the bulk of the cleaning done on my bottles. I thought I should probably throw in the other couple of steps just so that the video is complete. Then if I've never used them before, then I will probably take those bottles and run them through my dishwasher on the sanitized cycle, and that works well. Now then on bottling day, every bottle I'm going to use, I'll do a visual inspection, make sure it still doesn't have, nothing's gotten in it. Most of them are stored either on the bottle tree or inverted in cases, but I'll take a look at them. As long as they look okay, they all get rinsed with the Star San before I bottle. And that's basically the system I use for bottles. Like I said, my big thing is I like to be able to do them a little at a time as I go, so that I don't have to sit down and do all of that on bottling day. You still have to rinse every single bottle on bottling day, which is why I want to move towards kegging. But you certainly don't want to have to do all of that on bottling day. And so, but that beer that's in there, just a quick update on that. That's an IPA that I was going to bottle. Took a gravity yesterday, was sure that it was done. It was at 1.010. It's kind of where I thought it was going to land. Went in today, expected to find it the same, expected to bottle it today, pulled a gravity, same exact temperature. It was 1.008. So it's still moving. It's a big thing. If you wait until the gravity is the same for a couple days in a row, you will not make bottle bombs. Make sure fermentation is done. Hydrometer is not an expensive piece of equipment. You know, back in the day, you hear lots of horror stories about people who's having bottles explode under their bed or whatever. Make sure fermentation is over. Measure your priming sugar, and you shouldn't have those kinds of problems. So that's pretty much it for this Homebrew Wednesday. I'm having a homebrew. It's Wednesday. I'm going to start, I'm going to get this uploading, and then I'm going to watch everybody else's videos. Cheers. Everybody have a good day, and I'll see you next week or on my JTV cast whenever I do the next one.